let's talk for a second about, is there anybody now that they've demonstrated it on national television that cannot see what I'm talking about with the Lucha Brothers and why they're the last team that needs to be in the ring with FTR? Did this tell everybody, or are they still not trying to see it because Felix does a triple gainer and a double Lindy off the turnbuckle once in a while?
I'll say that I saw it more here than any other time previously, and I've always cut them a little more slack than you, obviously. But they're going to do their shit, and they're going to have their match no matter what. And FTR probably handled it as well as a serious wrestling tag team that doesn't specialize in gymnastics can. But I'm ready for FTR to move on to something else.
Well,
of all the feuds that do lots of rematches for, this may have not been the one.
The one, they never do rematches, except this, they're going to give it to us until FTR is dead and buried. That's probably why we're getting it. It's a hit. But I will enumerate some of the things for those, because I've heard people who say, hey, we like to wait to watch the show until we can put your review over the show, since the announcing is sometimes haphazard. We don't listen to it anyway. And that way we can see, and it's a learning type of experience for fans and wrestlers alike. I knew it was a bad sign when the corpse referee was in charge to begin with, because that just means that there's going to be chaos abundant. But within the first minute of this match, FTR was having to stand there, wave their arms in a stationary position. Once in a while, they turn a circle, wait on the guys to do their tumbling and their intricate little gymnastics routine, sometimes using FTR as vaulting blocks to jump off of to do offensive things to the other guy. Then Penthouse stopped everything in the match to do the goofy glove bit that he does in every single match, but this time there was a wrinkle. Instead of just making the opponent, the heel, look like an idiot by stop, the old put the hand up, like the old midget spot, Cowboy Lang and Little Tokyo, he goes to take the glove off and Cash Wheeler stops him and does something, so he comes out of it and tosses the glove to Cash, who catches it and stands there to get super kicked. So now they're doing 70s midget spots. Then after they go into a tag team spot where both teams are going to do a blind tag. FTR does a perfect legal blind tag. The Lucha Brothers do a sloppy, illegal backslap blind tag. And then the Lucha Brothers fucked up their own spot and couldn't get in the right fucking place. Then they started getting some heat on Felix, and Tully even interfered. Imagine that. So there's a heel manager actually doing heel things. That was lovely. But then before the first break in the match, they've gotten a little brief steam on Felix, and he makes his own comeback and beats up both guys, and they go to the break with both heels down, and the babyface in seeming in control, even though he was selling too, but he's got it well in hand. That's the exact opposite of the spot you go to the break on. They come back from the break, and they're getting heat on Felix again. I guess we missed all their heat in the break. But suddenly he makes his own comeback against both guys again. Then botches the spot to drop behind him and set up the hot tag. Then hits a lackluster hot tag because he'd already made his own comeback to begin with, which is an old trick of Jerry Lawler's in Memphis. When you got the heat on Lawler in a tag match, he would start his own comeback, and then he would tag his babyface partner in to continue the comeback. That's the way he'd say it. He'd say, I'll start the comeback a little bit. I'll tag you in and you continue it. Once you've started your own comeback, you've made your fucking comeback, pal.
Exactly.
Then Penthouse made a comeback and beat up both guys too. Then the Lucha Brothers went for their finish, the package pile driver double foot stomp to the ass off the top rope. And Tully comes up on the apron and distracts Felix. And Felix is face to face with him. And Tully goes to swing a punch, and Felix blocked it. and Felix is supposed to nail Tully, right? Well, he blocks the punch and he snatches Tully, and then he turns around to start milking the people at his fist up. Should I? Well, there's certain spots where that is entirely apropos, especially if you're in the middle of the ring and all the attention is on you. But since everybody else was still in motion, or needed to be because they were setting up the next deal, and Felix was involved in the next spot, so everybody had to be motionless, waiting for Felix. And you can see Tully like 3 times say, swing it, or whatever he said. Hit me. And finally hits him, and it's a big pop. But the timing there, because they don't teach timing in the Lucha territories. The timing there, block it, bam, swing, nail, get the big pop, look at the people and fucking glorify yourself for a second, and then go into your next fucking position because the other guys are waiting on you because they've got more gymnastics yet to do. So there's Tully going, hit me. Boom, he hit him. Got a big pop. They did some more gymnastics. Dax hit a nice slingshot power bomb and only got a 2 count. Then Cash goes to get the tag team title belt, and he and Felix have a tug of war with the belt, and Felix jerks it backwards and hits fucking Dax and knocks him goofy with the belt. And then they did some more shit, and then somehow somebody had shoveled or the belt had been dropped, and Felix goes up to the top and splashes Dax, but Dax holds the belt up, and Felix gets hit in the face with the belt. Cover, 2 count. God damn it. And then FTR hits their finish, not well, I don't know if he's in the right place, whatever, but on Felix, and Penthouse does a dive off the top and knocks one of FTR into the cover and breaks that up. So that's a 2 count. Then everything came to a fucking halt. And all 4 guys staggered up. And they were fighting like they were fatigued. And they had a 4-way 1-2 spot. Boom, 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 boom. And then they did more big moves. I'm wearing out here. I'm blowed up talking. And then Cash and Penthouse got lost for a minute because Penthouse couldn't just swing so he could duck or whatever, but then they got it back and they rolled up. Cash and Penthouse were rolling each other up until Penthouse rolled him up into the spike pile driver double stomp, which they did. And then Felix, as he does in every other match that they ever have since the dawn of time, hits the move and then distracts from the 1-2-3 by doing a dive out of the ring onto the other heel that's always somehow in the right place. They did that in MLW one time, and the camera, the director completely missed the 1-2-3 because he was watching the guy dive out of the ring. Anyway, so FTR goes down to defeat again, and to make it worse, again, they had the perfect finish to beat FTR and give them a bitch. And they made that a false finish. Went another 3 or 4 minutes, did a bunch more shit that didn't make sense, and then beat them flat. Why couldn't that have been the finish? When fucking Felix jerks the belt away from Cash and hits Dax, and the referee was distracted and didn't see it. Cover, 1, 2, 3. They foiled the heels. They outsmarted them. They didn't just beat them like fucking powder. And they roll out of the ring and leave the ring and the heels to the ring to bitch. But they can't ever leave well enough alone or give FTR the merest of the most microscopic out for just getting beat over and over. Your thoughts?
I was surprised they had another rematch where, once again, FTR lost. I'm sick of seeing these 2 teams wrestle. Even the matches I really like with FTR and AEW, the finishes always seem to be screwy. Unnecessarily screwy. I am ready for FTR to do something else. And I also think they have to establish themselves as badasses. You know, like they'll do something where they attack someone and then they are shown to look like jokes for weeks. Like, seriously, get rid of Tully. Either get them with a manager or put them with another wrestler or have someone else and make them badasses and have them win matches. But otherwise, I don't know what they're doing. They're treading water.
Since they've been there, badasses, they get hurt. Cash got hurt for real. But anything they do to anybody, they never show the effects past limping out of the ring when the match is over with, and then everybody's fine. And I assume they're going to do something else. They're going to put somebody else over again. Because after this match, then the girls had a tag team match. Less said, the better. And then Tony Schiavone's in the back with Sting and Darby Allin. And he asked them a question. And before either babyface says a single solitary syllable, FTR and Tully come in from behind and kick the shit out of them. And actually they fought back, and then they got him down again, and they grabbed Sting and held him, and Tully kicked Sting in the balls. So, again, standing alone, this might have been fine, but since it happens 2 to 5 times on every AEW television program, guy in the back being interviewed by Schiavone. Schiavone asks a question. Guy doesn't speak. His opponent comes in from mere feet away, off camera, kicks the shit out of him. It has no impact there. Tully is the one who gets the heat by kicking Sting in the balls. Does that mean that, unfortunately, now Tully at 70 is going to wrestle Sting at 62?
If it means we don't get Tully versus Arn, I'll take it.
But again, there's no impact to doing this because they do it all the time. This was more well done than most of them. But what the fuck? It's like an attention deficit disorder booking by fantasy fans on the internet. This is a thing they do in wrestling. So we must do this. So now FTR can get beat by a 150-pound man and his 62-year-old mentor. It's your show.
Well, that was AEW Rampage, another wonderful Friday night. And of course, when it comes to going on a rampage, some of you may want to go on a rampage with your phone and just take picture after picture of your family, your friends, your dog, your property, maybe candid photography. And of course, if you are on a rampage of photography terror, you need a place to send these photos. The best place for anyone to send their photos is Skylight Frames.
You remember when you used to have to develop these things, when you'd take pictures at Christmas time and you wouldn't see them until spring and the dogwoods were in bloom because you wouldn't remember to take the film in to get developed, and then you wouldn't remember to go pick it up, and it used to take sometimes a week anyway, and then they got it down to 24-hour photo developing. And now, wow, that was just the greatest thing since sliced sourdough bread. But anyway, folks, now it's instantaneous, instant gratification. And not only can you take a picture anywhere of anything and anybody and see it at any time instantly, but now you can send them to people and let those people see them too, thanks to our friends at Skylight Frames. As Brian had meandered around and had small strokes in the transition there and tried to tell you, if you get a Skylight frame for anyone in your life, your even non-tech savvy people like mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, or your cousins, nephews, aunts and uncles, whatever the case may be, you get this Skylight frame and everybody in the family can get the personal Skylight email address to this frame and send the recipient photos to make them smile, photos to make them laugh, photos of the tree that they used to have in their last resting place. And it pops right up on the Skylight frame. It's a great gift for anybody at the holiday time. And if they ain't in the immediate vicinity of the family, if they ain't. My grammar is horrible today. If they're not in the immediate vicinity of the family, they feel like they're there because they're seeing everybody waving at them on their skylight frame. They can swipe through the pictures with their finger. They can even give a finger to the person who sent the photo, or use your finger to tap the thing and thank the person, giving them the finger. Folks, if you don't love the skylight frame, they give you a full refund. And I understand from Brian Last, they will actually not hold your pictures hostage or use them as blackmail to get you to rethink your refund request.
Not only will they not do that, it's completely unreasonable and unexpected why anyone would even bring that into the conversation. That is not a possibility. It's not an option. It won't be happening. You and your photos are safe.
Well, it's first thing I thought of, but you shot that down. But folks, I understand that when you give for example, your mother one of these for Christmas or their birthday, they will cry tears of joy. So if you'd like to make everybody in your family cry for Christmas this year, folks, go to skylightframe.com. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com. Promo code DRIVE, and you're going to get $10 off your skylight frame. Skylightframe.com. Enter the code DRIVE. $10 off one of these state-of-the-art, gorgeous-looking black frames with a white mat with the screen that projects a slideshow of your life. What could be more fitting for the holiday season than to bring all your family members around, and if you don't want to tell them to kiss your ass, get them a skylight frame.
That's right. I won't even talk about what photos you could send of your desires on the skylight frame.
You're using my material.
I am.
And I was trying to stay away from that because it's a holiday season.
Well, sometimes the transition out of the segment is as difficult as the transition into the segment.
Well, only for you.